Alright, what's good boys? This video is how to actually succeed with a mobile phone business, aka phone reselling. Today I've grabbed together 8 of the best questions, so I'm just going to answer them, spit some absolute game. It's going to be valuable whether you're wanting to start, you're a beginner, or even if you're advanced with phone reselling and your mobile phone business. And there's no need for some long ass intro, so let's just get straight into it. Alright, the first question is, I'm stuck at $1,000 a month and I can't expand to more. So $1,000 a month is not much, so I'm going to consider this guy a beginner. And for anyone else in this exact same stage too, what I'm going to assume for all of you guys is $1,000 a month, the only way you're getting phones is by purely just manually searching Facebook Marketplace and looking for cheap phones. Because $1,000 a month is not much for phone reselling. That's probably like 6 or 7 phones a month. And like I said, that's really not that much. So you must be only doing the manually searching or maybe a little bit of negotiating. So straight away, if I were to be in your shoes right now, what I'd first of all do is maybe manually check a lot better, because there's a lot more than 7 or 8 cheap phones listed on Facebook Marketplace in a month. Like there's usually like 2 or 3 a day. So number one, I'd manually check better, or find a software that you can use that manually does the checking for you. So all you got to do is just receive the notification. Like for example, I've got a software that me and all my students have. That is what I'm talking about. It's something that just instantly beeps you the second a cheap phone is listed. But number two, I guess if you can't get access to that, you can't find it, what I would say is just manually check more. Like build more of a habit to manually check. Every time you pick up your phone, make sure it's the first thing you do. You pick up your phone and be like, oh, okay, first thing I do, check Facebook Marketplace if there's been a new phone listed. I've mentioned this millions of times, but if you go to Facebook Marketplace and you go to your search bar and you search up iPhone, the next time you go to your search bar, it'll come up with iPhone at the top and it'll say +1, +2, +5 since search. Use that to your advantage. Just check that search bar every 10 minutes. If it says +1 since search, that's a new phone listed. So all you gotta do is check it and see if it's cheap. And if it's not cheap, I'm assuming if you're at $1,000 a month, you just leave it. No, what you gotta do is you gotta negotiate with these people. And I don't mean negotiate message back and forth. Just send them an instant message saying sold, or just something like, I'll pick up today, I will pay in cash, no hassles or dramas, if you would take, and then state your price at which you would buy at, which then you can resell it for your minimum profit that you want to do. So example, $100, right? So straight away, that is how you can improve your actual Facebook Marketplace methods, like searching and negotiating and finding cheap ones. But straight away, to add like another $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 to your mobile phone business, the simplest way is cash for phone ads. Cash for phone ads on Marketplace, cash for phone ads on groups. Like these are absolute killers. I love talking about them, quite frankly, because they are the fucking best thing for phone flippers. They're free, they're extremely easy to do, they take no time, and it just prints absolute money. I'm not gonna break them down in this video. I've broken them down so many times in so many other videos. I've even got a complete free course about cash for phone ads. So you should go watch that. I'll link it in the description. Just go and watch it. Spit some absolute game. I tell you why they're good, and I tell you, how to exactly do them. Just everything. It's like 40 minutes long. It's just a straight value-packed video, but just those 2 things right there, actually improving your manually searching and actually starting to negotiate with people. Because a lot of people seem to be like, hey, I'm not going to do negotiating because everyone keeps saying no. It's about 1 out of 5 people say yes. But if there's 20 phones per day listed at a market value, that's like 4 phones. Like negotiating is probably the most consistent thing, because consistently at least 1 out of 5 people will say yes to your offer, and phones are always listed on the market like every single day, no matter what. Like there's always people getting new phones in your area. Obviously sometimes will be slower, sometimes will be faster, like the iPhone 16 just dropped. So currently in my area, there's like 50 phones listed per day. So right now, if I just negotiated with all 50 people, look, I might only have 1 out of 10 people say yes, but out of 50 people, that's 5 people saying yes. That's 5 phones with, for me, a minimum profit margin of $180. And what's that? $720 of profit purely by just messaging people. It only takes a second to do, and people just are being too lazy to actually do this, when in comparison, even if you had to send 50 messages to get 1 person for a $200 profit phone, that's 50 just typing on your phones, compared to working a job is going to take you 8 hours of, let's say you work in a restaurant, fucking cleaning dishes, picking up people's plates, saying, oh, thank you, or here's your food, like doing that for 8 hours straight, in comparison to sending 50 text messages. I think I much know what I would rather do and what you guys would probably want to do either. And if you say work at a restaurant, you're retarded. But yeah, just to clarify what I meant is, fix up your manually searching things, search quicker, make it more of a habit, make sure you're actually taking advantage of finding these cheap phones. Number 2, actually start negotiating. Negotiating is key. 3rd, cash for phone ads. Just do cash for phone ads. They are amazing. You post them once, you never look at them again. They'll continue bringing in leads for the rest of your life. I'll link that video on the bottom, but those 3 things right there, if you aren't making like $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 a month, just from those things right there. Majority of my students, when we hop on these calls and I lock them in and make sure everything's going good, they never make less than $6,000 a month. So you can do the exact same. All the info's out there. I've put all the info and all the value out there with my free community and all my YouTube videos. You should be able to do it. 1K a month is honestly not acceptable, but it's still good that you indeed have started phone reselling. But anyway, let's just move on to the next question. The second one is, when is it okay to sell a phone under market value? Is it okay when starting off phone flipping? So it is actually okay to sell your phones for under market value. Obviously not too under market value to the point where you're just cutting off crazy amounts of profits, but under market value as in $50 under market value. I think it is a very good strategy when you first start phone reselling and your mobile phone business to actually sell under market value if you do not have the money to put into phones. If you're like got $5,000 and you are continuously reinvesting into new phones on Facebook Marketplace and stuff because you know it's safe. Like a phone will always sell. Like you're never gonna have a risk of a phone not selling, so you just keep investing. But let's say you only have $500 to work with, you go buy 2 phones and you've listed them up at market value, and now you're just sitting there on your ass waiting for people to message you. Could even take 4 or 5 days. I'm sure you agree with me because it happened to me at the start. I was like that and I was like, dude, stuff this. Like this is gonna take ages. Why don't I just list my phones for under market value, $50 under market value. I sell them within the day, every single one of my phones, get my cash back quicker, keep getting new phones. So I get new phones for like $200 under market value, list them up for $50 under market value, still keep a $150 profit. I do that with all my phones. Like I would list them all for, I mean, depending on the model, like an iPhone 11, I'd list probably $40 under market value. iPhone 13 Pro Max, I'd probably list like $70 or $80 under market value. All depending on the profit, yet again, because you don't want to cut it by $80 under market value and then only profit $50. That's just stupid. There's no point, especially if you're investing like $600 into a 13 Pro Max to only profit $50. That is just stupid. You're just wasting your money. So the point is to just quickly resell and flip your phones. Like you guys probably noticed in my videos where I flip an iPhone 8 into an iPhone 15 or flip $1,000 into $10,000 in a single month. All of them were done by me listing my phones for under market value until I got to the point where I have so much profit where I don't have to list my phones at under market value, because even if I've got 7 or 8 phones currently in stock at market value, at least 2 or 3 will sell per day because I have good advertising on Facebook Marketplace. So the point is, list your phones for under market value as a beginner if you do not have the money to keep reinvesting into phones, and get to a point where you've probably got a bankroll meaning the amount of money you can invest into phones at probably $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. Or honestly, just implement that strategy whenever you're at a point where I've got no more cash to spend on phones. I need to get my money back quickly so I can continue buying new phones, because the worst thing that could possibly happen to you is if you've got no money at phones because you've got like 10 phones listed at market value, you've waited like 2-3 days, none are selling because they're all at market value, and you just missed an opportunity of a 14 Pro Max for $500, which would have made you $400 in profit. Like, you would absolutely hate yourself for that. So don't let yourself be in that predicament. Take notice of your bankroll and then drop the price on some of your phones. Another piece of advice is, don't drop all of them. Let's say you got 10 phones in stock. Maybe don't drop all of them. Maybe just drop the expensive ones, because if you sell one iPhone 13 Pro Max for $900, that's basically the equivalent of 2.5 iPhone 11s. So it's a lot easier to sell one 13 Pro Max than, let's just say, 3 iPhone 11s to get your money back. So I would highly suggest dropping the price on them. And also, yet again, you'd probably have better profit margins on the 13 Pro Max, because you're not going to get $150 on an 11, and you've got, like, let's say you don't really have that much money. It would not be smart to buy an iPhone 11 for $100. It would be smart to buy an iPhone 11 and get $150 profit on it, but it wouldn't be smart to buy an iPhone 14 Pro Max with only $150 profit on it, because like you're spending 3 times the amount of money to make the same profit. As a beginner, that's not smart. I do personally do that. Like, I would still probably buy a 14 Pro Max. Like, I only go minimum $180 profit if I'm buying off the market or my cash or phone ads, but I would still personally buy an iPhone 14 Pro Max if it's only $180 profit, because I have that bankroll where I never have to check my cash. I never have to make sure I have enough, because I have enough at all times. But for you beginners who may be struggling with that, yes, take that advice. Drop the prices of the expensive ones, or if you've only got like 2 or 3 phones in stock because you just begin, drop all of them by 20, 30, 40, 50 bucks, depending on the model, so you can sell them quicker, so you can get your money back, so you can flip more phones, so you can get to those higher, bigger months a lot quicker instead of wasting time. Third question is how to negotiate the price of a phone if it has no defects or scratches. This is a very, very good question. So let's say you've just gone on Facebook Marketplace, you want to negotiate with this person. Their phone's listed at, let's say it's an iPhone 13 base model. You know you can sell it for $600, but it's in perfect condition. It's listed at $550. You want to get it at $450. The only way you can really negotiate, because you don't want to be some jackass, some retard, and just message them and just make up shit, because that's quite truly just stupid. So the best thing you can do is give them something in return. I love saying this. You got to give them something in return for you to get something in return. Like, you can't just ask them for a lower price and give nothing in return. Yes, you can sometimes do reasoning, like let's say their phone is 79% battery health. Yes, you can then say, hey, this phone will need the battery replacing. Would you do this price instead? Yes, indeed, you can do that. By the way, guys, as phone resellers, if the battery is 79%, you don't need to replace it. I wouldn't recommend replacing a battery until it's under 75%. So 79%, you can just cop it and resell it as is, but it's still a negotiating tactic. But no defects, nothing wrong. How are you going to give something in return? You're going to give them simpleness, speed, and just be a good, trustworthy person. And you don't have to do much to get that to the person and like get them knowing that you're that type of person. All you're going to do is just say, I will come pick up right now. I've got the cash on me. I just won't mess you around. I'll 110% buy the phone. That's all you're going to say. This person is going to get that little notification at the top of their damn phone, and they're going to get a boner, bro. They're going to just straight boner because they just saw someone on Facebook Marketplace sound so easy, so straightforward, so quick. Facebook Marketplace is filled with losers who just annoy people and just piss off their time. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's so many people out there who will literally message you on Facebook Marketplace. Like, not you, but like these sellers, they deal with people on Facebook Marketplace, messaging them and say, hey, would you do this time? Then they rock up 10 hours late. You know what I mean? Us phone resellers, there is ways to get around that. I don't really ever deal with people like that. But there is people like that, or there's people going to be messaging these people, not phone resellers, because scammers don't target phone resellers because phone resellers are smart, but there is scams on Facebook Marketplace where they message these actual real people who are selling their iPhones and get them to give them the phone without actually paying by doing some pay ID scam. Right, so my point is, these people, these average people selling their phones, just deal with idiots and annoying people, and they just know Facebook Marketplace as like, oh, I can sell an item, but fuck, it might be a pain in the ass. So what you do is, you just come in, easy, straightforward, pay in cash, all that stuff, and it's just easy. Like, they're going to be like, okay, well, look, I can get $50 more, but I'm going to have to deal with annoying people. I'm going to have to deal with people asking to do bank transfer and not paying in cash. So you just come in as this fucking Superman. You're Superman in their story, and they're like, oh, I'll give you $100 off. So that's the only way you can actually negotiate, because you don't want to go out and lie and be like, oh, this needs this and this, because that's just don't lie, right? So offer them speed, easiness, simpleness, cash, whatever. I'll pick up right now. I'll pay in cash. I won't mess you around. If you would state your price, then state your price that you would buy it to then make that profit. That is I'm pretty sure that is the only way. Yeah, that is the only successful way you can actually negotiate with phones with no defects or problems, and it is also just a great way. But anyways, that's that for that question, so let's go to the next one. Alright, the next question is how to tell if a scammer is a seller. What I assume he means is how to tell if a seller is a scammer. Well, so on Facebook Marketplace, there's people out there who make fake listings, and their point is to scam you. And what the point is they list up a cheap phone, make it seem amazing. You message them. They say, oh, I've got so many people wanting it, If you want it, you have to place a deposit. And then what do once you place a deposit? They block you, and they've just kept $50, $100, $150, depending how much they got you on the deposit. So there's two types of scammers. There is the really, really, really bad scammers, which are like, you can just tell instantly, like they'll be holding a phone in the photo and their hand's white, and then the profile picture is like an Asian dude. So that just makes no sense at all. Then there's actually the really good scammers, ones who make good fake profiles. They have a fake address. They make it look so logistic. Their photos are good quality. Those are the ones that you really want to watch out for. But the ultimate way is just, let's say, okay, so first of all, the bad scammers, they will have a really low quality photo. Also, another thing to remember is too good to be true. Yes, there is too good to be true. No, you will not get a $300 15 Pro Max in like mint condition. You guys got to realize humans are real. Like, people aren't that dumb. Like, legitimately, People are not that dumb to go and buy with their hard-earned cash $2,000 phone and then list it to Facebook Marketplace the next day in brand new condition for $300. Nobody's going to do that unless you just met Mr. Beast or some fucking guy like that. No one's going to do that. So there is such things as too good to be true. Yes, you can probably get lucky and find a $400 profit phone on Facebook Marketplace quite rarely, but anything more than that, it's probably a scam. But the best way to find out if it's an actual scam is just if they ask you to place a deposit. Never, ever, ever place a deposit. Even if it is actually a real person, that one time they ask for a deposit, they could easily still block you, not send the address, goodbye. They've just taken your money. People out there will do that. Like, there's bad people out there who do that type of shit. So just never place a deposit. Full stop, never place a deposit, and you will never get scammed. It's impossible to get scammed if you just avoid that one thing. Yes, you can fall into the trap of messaging these people back and forth, but just don't send them a damn deposit. And there's just other ways to tell just straight away so you don't have to waste your time even messaging these people is their account was made in 2024. If you see Facebook, or like not even 2024, if you're watching this in 2025, it's just the year their account was made. If the year their account was made was the current year that we're living in, that is pretty sus, especially if it's like a 25, 30-year-old man or 40-year-old woman. Why does a 40-year-old woman only just join Facebook? They wouldn't. And obviously these scammers are going to look as trustworthy as they possibly can. And trustworthy is usually linked with like adults. They're not going to try to scam people under a 13-year-old kid's name. No, they're going to go under an adult's name. And think about this. These are real humans yet again, guys. Real humans. Why would a real mother, a 40-year-old mother, not have Facebook already? Why would she only just be joining in 2024? No. And why would she only be joining just to post a phone? If anything, she's going to post her random cocktails she fucking had with her other single friends after they just divorced their husbands and gone to fucking Vegas. No, they're not going to be listing a phone on Facebook Marketplace. They're a real human. So straight away, their account was made in 2024. You click on their account. Oh, their profile picture was updated 2 hours ago. When did they list that phone? Like 2 hours ago. So it's stuff like that, right? You can just like basic human knowledge, like just basic stuff like that. If something seems sus, it's probably because it is sus. If you've noticed with phones you've bought, like previously, you've probably noticed, oh, it's a real. But anyway, to make a long story short, never, ever, ever, ever send a deposit. But now to actually talk about the other angle of scamming, because there is other scams on Facebook Marketplace. So when you're actually selling a phone to somebody, there is ways they can scam you. So number one, these people who do the pay ID or bank transfer or wire transfer cash app scam. Pardon me, depending what place you actually live in is depending how they'll send you money online. And the trick of it is they send a fake screenshot of, hey, I just sent the money. It might take 24 hours to come in. I'll come pick it up now. Right? That is a little bit sketchy. I do know there is some apps and some bank apps that don't actually, like money doesn't actually come in instantly. But that's something you should always take caution with when somebody wants to buy a phone of you. Let's say they say, can we do bank transfer? And you want to accept bank transfer because bank transfer is completely fine. But just say to them, only if the money comes in instantly. Obviously, you can tell if somebody's a bit more trustworthy, like if it's a mum and their grandma coming to pick up a phone, then it's probably fine. They're probably not going to scam you with a bank transfer. But my point is, you can never be too cautious. Like some people do just show a fake screenshot. Like they send you a messenger, oh, hey, perfect, I just paid it now. Here's a screenshot. Can my brother or sister come pick it up? Like that's the whole scam, right? So just don't give anyone a phone until the money's hit your account. Just don't do it. See this phone? They say, oh, here's the money. I'll be like, check your bank app, check your cash app. Oh, hasn't come through. Nah, you can't have it. Another thing to go off, do not do PayPal. Never do PayPal. PayPal favors the buyer in every single situation. So if anyone ever asks, can I buy a phone off you in PayPal? Fuck no. Because what they're going to do is, they're going to buy the phone, then 2 weeks later, they're going to do a dispute, send a photo of the wall, be like, I never got my phone. Then what? They're going to accept theirs instantaneously because PayPal's new terms and conditions is they favor the buyer. So the seller has to prove they actually sold the phone. And how are you going to prove you sold a phone? Yes, you can send screenshots. I've had to do that before. Guess what? PayPal does not give two fucks. PayPal are ops, bro. Like ever since Elon Musk sold that shit, PayPal's been terrible. So just don't take PayPal because they will just favor the buyer and you're going to be out. You're going to lose your PayPal account if you don't want to put the money back in the account so they can take your money. Obviously, if somebody does do a back charge, it's going to put a negative fee on your PayPal. So if that does happen, just disconnect your card, delete the account. Well, you can't actually delete the account because it has pending funds on it, but just disable your card so no money can actually come out, and just forget about that account. That is what you're going to have to do, but you can just avoid that by not accepting PayPal. It's pretty straightforward. And another thing is posting. Sometimes people do ask you to post the phone or post whatever you're selling. All you're going to do is say, okay, I can post it, but once the money hits my account. That's all you're going to do. And if they say, no, I'll send you money once I receive the product. No, don't do that. That's just putting yourself in a stupid predicament. Because what are they going to do? They're going to be like, oh, well, this guy, like, yes, you might have their address, but what if they're 6 hours away? They're just going to be like, well, here's my address, but he's 6 hours away. He's not going to do that for a $400 phone. Oh, I'm just not going to send him the money. That's all they could do, and just you're gone. So never, ever, ever post something until you've received the money. Sometimes the other side of the person will probably be a little bit like, oh, but what if you scam me? All you got to say is, I will send you a photo of my driver's license with my address on the driver's license. I can show you and call you when I'm actually at the post office, so you know I'm not scamming. And yet again, feel free to check my Facebook profile. I run a mobile phone business. I'm a trusted seller. You got to have fives. Like, if you have ratings on Facebook Marketplace. By the way, you don't deal with postage like often. It's not something that happens often. So by the time it actually does happen to you for the first time, you should probably have 30, 40, 50 5-star reviews by this point, because it's pretty easy to get 5-star reviews each time you sell a phone. All you gotta do is request a 5-star review. So you can quite easily get 30 5-star reviews in your first month. But my point is, you're a trusted person. You show them, like, click my profile. Feel free to see. I sell phones. I have good ratings. I'm not out here to scam somebody and ruin my entire business for $400. Let's say the phone is $400. So that's my point. That's how to avoid any type of scams, full stop. So you'll be safe when you're phone reselling. People, you know, there is business models out there that are risky. Phone reselling is one of the biggest risk-free side hustles if you're smart, if you know what you're doing. If you're checking your phones properly before you buy them, and you're avoiding all types of scams where you send people money before you get what you want in return, or if you're giving people phones before you get your money. So phone reselling is a risk-free side hustle. Like I said before in the video, you will always be able to sell a phone. You'll never ever have issues with that. All you got to do is do your checks properly, play to the safe side, and you will never ever ever have an issue. I see a lot of people getting scammed on phone reselling, and I'm just thinking, how the fuck did you get scammed? I've actually know somebody who, in fact, was in a meetup with a person. Like, I don't actually know them, but they posted about it. They were in a meetup with a person. They gave him the phone, and the guy said, oh, I don't have the money on me right now. Why is he at the meetup with no fucking money? And then the guy goes, can I pay you tomorrow? And the phone reseller goes, yeah, that's fine. What? That's the stupidest shit I've ever heard. If, like, it's not, at this point, I'm sorry to say it, guys, this might break some of your hearts, but if you're a dumbass, you're not going to succeed in phone reselling. It's honestly just ultimate. Like, that guy right there, you don't have to be a good phone reseller to know that is the stupidest shit you've ever heard. Oh, I'll pay you tomorrow. Why are you at the meetup with no money? Why do you have to pay me tomorrow? You came to meet up for the phone, and you're going to pay me. Like, and they met up in a public place. Like, unless you're maybe at their house or some shit, not even maybe. Don't give a phone until you get the money. Sorry to say, guys, but if you're a dumbass, if you're just straight up retarded, you're not going to succeed with phone reselling. Like if your shit's below 70 IQ, bro, sorry, I can't help you. But it is just the honest truth. But that is how to avoid getting scammed. Let's go to the next fucking question. The next one is what to do if my phones don't sell at a certain price. So I'm going to assume your certain price is at market value or potentially like $10 or $20 above. This goes for all people. I'm going to assume if you're at this point in time, you've already started phone reselling, and like, you already know what you're doing, and you already know what market value to sell your phones at. So if your phones aren't selling at a certain price, there is a lot of things it could possibly be. So I'm going to list off a few. First of all, you might be in a slow market. You might be in a market where nobody wants that phone. You might have a listing where you're getting absolutely no views, or you might be listing it at market value and instead actually be listing it $50 above market value. So no one's even going to look your way. So first of all, the best way to check this, number one, is double check your market value. Check all the exact same other phones in your market and see what the median price is. Median price meaning the price that pops up the most. No, it doesn't have to be the exact price, but let's say you're in a price range of 12 Pro Max. If you see a lot of them at 650, 660, 670, then most likely it's going to be that price. If you randomly see one listed at 750, a singular 12 Pro Max in your whole market listed at 750, or a singular one like a cheap one listed at 450, no, that is not the market value. Just because you saw that price, you want to find the median price. Honestly, the best way you could probably do it, like to be extremely accurate, you don't have to do this. This is just an extra step for people who want to be safe, is write down every single one inside of your 50K radius and then find the median by doing that. Or you can just use your eyes. I like to just use my eyes and look at it. I mean, not anymore. I already know the market value of every single phone off by heart, but my point is, you can just look at the median price, meaning the price that pops up the most, and that's going to be the determined market value, because yet again, there is no like Facebook market value decider. The decider is the people who are buying, and the people who are buying, if they're buying a 12 Pro Max and they search up a 12 Pro Max, they're not going to buy the one that says 750. They're not even going to click on it. They're not even going to look at the ad. They're going to click on the cheaper ones and decide out of the cheaper ones, well, not even the cheaper ones, the average market value price, which one is the best. And the way they're going to decide that is by a good ad. So you've got to have your price listed at the market value with a good ad. And if you're a phone reseller and you've looked at my videos talking about how to sell a phone to the best ability, you will know how to have a good ad. So they see 5 phones at $650. Yours is the best ad because you have the best marketing and the best phone reselling listings out of the entirety of your area on Marketplace. And then people are just instantly going to always buy your phones. So, number 1, market value. Make sure your market value is good. Number 2, make sure your ad is actually good, because potentially you could be at market value, but potentially your ad is fucking cheeks. Like your listing is just iPhone 11, and then you've got one photo and your shit description is just terrible. So, number 1, market value. Number 2, description. Number 3, a ghost listing. Ghost listings can indeed happen. Ghost listings can happen from just randomly posting it, getting 0 views. But ghost listings can also happen from you've listed it, you've changed the description because you forgot something, and suddenly Facebook has glitched and they've put your listing in the back of the barrel. Like, it's a ghost listing now. Sometimes that happens. It's like maybe like a 1 out of 5 occurrence. So number 1, to make sure you don't actually fall into that trap, is make your listing good and post it, and make sure you have everything before you post it so you don't have to deal with that issue. But number 2, the best way to defeat this ghost listing, whether you've posted it or you've edited it and it's just become a ghost listing, the best way to fix it is delete it and relist it. That's all you got to do, right? So those 3 things are the main way to do it. But let's say it's still not selling, like you're pretty damn confident, like damn, that is the market value. Damn, that is good ad. It is not a ghost listing. I'm getting like 300 views. Then all you gotta do is drop the price. And no, do not delete the listing and relist it. Drop the price, because a Facebook feature is when people have viewed your listing and you drop the price, every single person who has viewed that listing or messaged you, all of them. So if they message you, they get a notification on actual messages saying, hey, this phone has dropped by $20 to this price. Or if they've just viewed your listing, it will come up in their notification bell and say, this listing you recently viewed has dropped their price. So that is what you want to do. You want to drop your price depending on your model. An iPhone 11, drop it by 20. iPhone 12, drop it by 30. iPhone 12, still drop it by 20. iPhone 13 and 13 Pro Max, drop it by 30. iPhone 14, 15s, 40, 50. You get my point. So drop it. And if you're still not getting any traction from people knowing you've dropped the price, I have a feeling your market value is too high. So completely delete the listing and relist it at that dropped price. So don't relist it back at the same price you previously did. Drop it at that price that you now have dropped it at, but just delete the listing and relist it at that price. So that's pretty much it. But once you've done all of those things, fix all those things, all that stuff, you will not have a problem. Your phone will indeed sell. There's not really much more to cover. I've never noticed after doing all those things that it doesn't sell. Yes, it might even take another week after that, that final relisting, but that's completely fine. It happens. It just happens sometimes. Maybe just sometimes you're going through an area where nobody wants to buy your damn 12 Pro Max. And it fucking happens and nothing you can really do about it. Matter of fact, in the end of the day, your phone is still going to sell. Yes, it might take a little bit longer, but there's no need stressing over it. And instead, you should be focusing on buying phones instead of selling one of the current phones that's not selling. Just focus on buying more and you will probably forget about it and it will eventually sell. The next one is, how much profit should you make minimum on a phone? So this is a very good question, but yet again, it depends on who you are as a person and how much you want, because I'm not going to sit here and tell you a price. Me personally, $180 minimum, unless it's from a wholesale, I'll extend to $130, $140 because they're just getting delivered to my doorstep. But my point is, I don't go below that because I'm busy. I have a lot on my plate. I've got to film content. I've got other things. You know what I mean? I'm a busy person. I'm not going to go and drive 20 minutes each way for only $150 profit. Yes, that might be like, damn, but that's like 45 minutes of work for $150. Yes, I'm busy. Sounds cocky. Maybe my hourly rate, I'm not going to too much info, but my hourly rate is a lot more than that. So yes, my point is, that's just me. Don't you guys follow me. Some of you guys might be 17, 18, driving a car, working a job that has $20 per hour and your paycheck is $900 for the entire week. Maybe driving 40 minutes each way for $120 is worth it. To you, is it worth it? It probably fucking is. Because an hour and a half work for $120 profit, that is around 5, 6, 7 times more than what your job would pay you. So that would then be worth it. When I first started and I first quit my job, I would drive an hour each way for $100 profit, because that would be 2 hours of work, $100 of profit. And all I'm doing is driving, jamming to good fucking music, compared to I would have worked 5 hours in the back of a fast food store, cooking burgers and fisting chickens, frozen chickens with stuffing. I must know what I'd fucking rather do. So compare it to your job. Always compare it to your job. Don't just compare it to others, because that is quite possibly stupid. If you're comparing it to me, that's just not smart, because you're not as busy as me. Well, I'm not talking to everyone here. Someone here might be busier. I don't fucking know. But my point is, I'm busier than you. At my phone reselling journey, I'm probably making more money than you if you're watching this. My point is, it is not worth it for me, but that does not mean it's not worth it for you. So just decide on your own if it's worth it. Decide if $80 is worth it. Also, another thing, if somebody's dropping a phone off to you and it's only like $80, $70, $60 profit, what's so bad about that? If you're buying the phone for like, let's say it's iPhone 8, an iPhone X, an iPhone 11, let's say you're buying it for like $150 at most, and you're going to profit, I don't know, $80 on it, whatever the phone is. What is so bad about profiting $80 on a phone that's getting delivered to you and you don't have to do anything except for list it straight back up and then sell it the next day or the other day, whatever it is, for like 5 minutes worth of work, 10 minutes worth of work to make $80? That is good in my opinion. If I was working a job and I had that opportunity, I would take that any day of the week, because it definitely adds up, right? My point is, decide your minimum profit depending on what you want, depending on if you have all the time in the world, depending on if you're already very busy at work, like you're currently working full time and you don't have all that much time. Yes, you should probably focus on just flipping phones with $150 profit instead of flipping phones. But let's say you go home from work, no phones are popping up. The only phone that's popped up is 30-minute drive each way for $120 profit. Yes, you're like, oh, well, I'm already busy at work, but you're not fucking at work and you got no other phones to pick up. So probably go pick up that phone, because that $120 is probably 4 times your hourly wage done in an hour and a half. So my point is, decide on your own. Decide what's best for you. I can't tell you a number, because quite frankly, that's stupid and unfair, because it just doesn't make any sense. I'm in my position, you're in your position, and that's special about it. So that's special about it means you should go buy phones and your fucking profit margin depending on what you want, right? That's about it. That's that question. Let's move on to the next one. All right, boys, the last question is, what's the biggest hurdle when phone flipping? I already did talk about buying phones earlier in this video, but the biggest hurdle is buying phones. And it's not really a hurdle, it's more so the biggest way to just scale up your business is by buying phones, because when you buy more phones, you will sell more phones. I tell everybody, I've talked about it on YouTube, I've told my students, I tell everybody, the focus of phone reselling and your mobile phone business is buying phones. Focus on buying phones and everything else will scale up, if you get what I mean. Focus on building the strategies and the systems and putting them in place to then get you more phones, so that you can then sell more phones and make more profit. It's all about buying phones. It doesn't matter when you sell a phone. When you sell a phone, you collect the profit. But when you buy a phone, you're setting yourself up for the profit that is going to come no matter what. So just focus on buying phones and focus on building systems. There's so many systems out there, like just to name a few: manual finding phones on Facebook Marketplace, negotiating with phones on Facebook Marketplace, Facebook cash for phone ads, on like Facebook cash for phone marketplace ads, Facebook groups cash for phone ads. Then you've got wholesale, and then you've got other things like getting a repairer so you can open more doors and get like, you can get broken phones and damaged phones. So that just opens 2 times the amount of doors, because the market out there for broken phones that's sitting in people's drawer is absolutely crazy. So just building these systems, or even potentially starting an Instagram page and posting reels to only hit your location, or Facebook reels, or Snapchat reels, TikTok reels. There's so many things you can post and do just to build up that amount. And also paid ads. There's just so many strategies to get more phones. And the second you get more phones is the second you'll sell way more, because you've got more and you're going to make more money. So I wouldn't really say it's the biggest hurdle, because I don't really think there is a biggest hurdle in phone reselling, because all you got to do is just buy more phones. But I would say that is the most important thing, so you do find success with your mobile phone business. Like I've already said before in this video, I have so much free information out there. You can pretty much find out a lot of these strategies. I don't talk about all strategies for the free because quite honestly, that's just stupid. Like there's some things that I only keep for my students and me and my inner circle, but for the free value I've put out there on YouTube and in my school free community, which will probably be linked in the description, my point is there's so much value that I've put out there that you can learn majority of these strategies at its best form, and you can make minimum $10,000 a month with those strategies that I've taught. But another hurdle that I want to actually talk about is not phone reselling, but an actual mindset of phone reselling. So first of all, a big mindset change that you have to understand is build it into a habit. Make phone reselling a habit. Don't make it something you have to sit down and do. Just make it something you do every day. Build it into your lifestyle. And what I mean by that is, like I said before, every single time you pick up your phone, make sure the first thing you do is, okay, I'm going to pick up my phone because I was about to go do something. Wait, before I do that, I'm going to go straight to the search bar and check if there has been new phones listed. That is one habit you can build instantly. Just make sure it's a thing. Maybe if you can't remember to keep doing that, maybe make it your wallpaper. Make on your wallpaper, say text, check marketplace first. Write it on your hand, whatever you're gonna do. Another thing, posting your cash for phone ads and your group ads. Always make sure you're just doing them at the same time, posting your marketplace cash for phone ad and your group cash for phone ad at the same time. But the best way to do that is do it before you do something. I mean, me personally, I just remember to always do it at 5 p.m., 5:30 p.m. So maybe you guys can just do that route. Set an alarm on your phone at 5 p.m. saying cash for phone ads. So every single day you get a bing saying cash for phone ads. Or maybe let's say you've got school. The second you finish school and you get home, you take your bag off or whatever the fuck you're doing. Or maybe the second you get home from work, the second you take your bag off, the second you do anything. Or the second you actually finish work and you hop in your car to go drive home, do it then. I mean, just don't be a lazy ass and do it. It takes 5 minutes to do. Like, or the second you get home, you take your bag off, do it then. The second you get home, go to the toilet, do it when you're on the toilet. Just make these set times that you can always do it so you never forget. And you build these habits that then eventually, compound and just make you fucking bread and get you to the point where maybe you can quit that job. So instead of quitting your job, instead of going to your job, coming home and posting them, you get to the point where you don't even have to go to work and all you're gonna do is just post them. You just remove fucking work because you're making money because all you did was consistently post these things. Literally, I believe this wholeheartedly with my heart, wholeheartedly. You can quit your job off cash for phone ads. They are so powerful. I had a student the other day post a cash for phone group ad and he got 100 messages on one singular ad. He did $6,000 in his first month from posting a cash for phone ad. You know how much money made him that cash for phone ad? Yeah, it's fucking mental. And you just keep posting more and you get to the point where you're making $10,000, $15,000 a month off cash for phone ads. My biggest month in December was $28,000 and I dedicate that whole month to my cash for phone ads. I created cash for phone ads. I was the only person doing cash for phone ads. And because of that, I was fucking printing. So just get on them. I might have saturated them a little bit, but just get on them. And the way to beat everybody else for your cash for finance is be the most consistent. All right? Because I do know some people have problems with, my area has people already doing it. Just beat them. Be better. You know how you be better? By building these habits and consistently doing them. No, there is not that many people actually out there doing $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 per month with phone reselling and their mobile phone business. But it's so fucking easy. You just got to be consistent, build it as a habit, let the compounding effect happen, and you will be there. All it honestly takes to hit 20K a month is 6 months. It took me 9 to 10 months, but that's just because I had to come up with fucking everything on my own. But I've put the value out there for you guys to know what to do. Like, I'm even a coach myself. Like, I got max to $10,000 a month in 3 months. Like, shit like that. Like, all I'm gonna say is, you can do it in 6 months. All you gotta do is build these habits and make it an actual lifestyle, and you'll just print fucking money. And that is pretty much the biggest mindset that you need to have. Just build it a habit, make it a lifestyle, and you will see the results just roll the fuck in. Anyway, boys, that was a bunch of game. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know in the comments if you actually just want more raw talk. I get so many questions on a daily basis that, I could make one of these videos every single second week. Don't want it to get too repetitive, but just this raw talk, spitting absolute game. If you guys like this, let me know in the comments. Just say some shit like, bro, this is a good video. Some shit like that. Right? Let me know and I'll continue putting these out because they're honestly quite good to do because it's me just speaking off the top of my mind and giving you guys straight best value. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed that. That's how to actually succeed with your mobile phone business, and catch you guys in the next one.